You don't need a Lamborghini. And deep down, you already know that. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one says out loud. The more freedom men have today, the more lost they feel. No clear role, no clear path, no idea where you actually belong. And while the world tells you to become louder, richer, more dominant, something in you feels empty. So, what if the problem isn't that you're not enough, but that you're chasing the wrong definition of what a man should be? Stay with me. Because what I'm about to show you is how men once built unshakable confidence, without status, without dominance, and why it matters more today than ever. In the next few minutes, you'll understand 3 things most men never figure out. Why modern freedom is silently breaking your identity. Why chasing dominance, status, and validation is actually making you weaker. And how ancient wisdom, especially from the Greeks, offers a completely different path to confidence, respect, and inner stability. Not fake confidence, not loud masculinity, real, grounded strength. The kind that makes you feel calm in chaos. The kind women are naturally drawn to. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. And halfway through, I'll show you one simple shift, used by Stoic philosophers, that can instantly change how you see yourself. Let's start with the real problem. Chapter 1. The Crisis. No one names you were told freedom would make you powerful. More choices, more independence, more control over your life. But instead, it gave you pressure. Because now everything is on you. Your success, your purpose, your identity. And without clear roles, many men drift. You scroll, you compare, you wonder, where do I fit? Meanwhile, women are surpassing men in higher education, moving forward fast, and many men feel left behind, unsure of their place. And here's the silent tension. Women still desire strength, not dominance, but presence, stability, leadership, emotional control. So you're stuck between 2 worlds. You're told masculinity is outdated, but also expected to embody it. That confusion, that's the real crisis. You're not lost because you're weak. You're lost because the map changed, and no one gave you a new one. And that leads to the next trap. Chapter 2. The Lie of Dominance. So what do many men do? They overcorrect. They chase dominance, status, money, external validation. They think, if I become powerful enough, I'll feel secure. But look closely. The loudest men are often the most insecure. The most dominant are often the most reactive. Because dominance is fragile. It needs constant proof. The ancient Greeks understood this. They didn't define strength as control over others, but control over self. Epictetus said, "You cannot control what happens to you, only how you respond." That's where real power begins. Not in forcing respect, but in becoming someone who doesn't need to demand it. The moment you stop trying to dominate others, you start building something far more attractive, self-mastery. But if not dominance, then what? Chapter 3. The Shift from Status to Stability. Let's break the illusion. You don't want a Lamborghini. You want what you think it gives you: respect, freedom, validation, a sense that you've made it. But here's the truth. Those things don't come from the object. They come from identity. And identity is built internally. The Greeks called this eudaimonia, a state of deep fulfillment, not pleasure. It came from living in alignment with values, integrity, discipline, purpose, not external success. Imagine 2 men. One has status, money, attention, but constantly seeks approval. The other is calm, grounded, reliable. He knows who he is. Which one feels stronger? Which one feels safer to be around? Which one do people trust? Stability beats status. Every time. And here's where it becomes practical. Chapter 4. What actually makes you attractive? Forget what social media tells you. What actually draws people, especially women, is not dominance. It's emotional stability, consistency, honesty, calm confidence, the ability to handle pressure without collapsing or exploding. A man who knows himself doesn't need to perform. And that's rare today, because most men are either trying to prove themselves or afraid of rejection. But rejection isn't the enemy. Fear of rejection is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." Translated to today, if you stop taking rejection personally, you become free. Free to speak, free to act, free to be authentic. Confidence isn't being accepted by everyone. It's not needing to be. And this leads to the most important part. Chapter 5. The Forgotten Skill, Self-Respect. Here's what no one teaches men. You can't build a strong life if you secretly don't respect yourself. And self-respect doesn't come from achievements. It comes from alignment, doing what you say you'll do. Being honest when it's uncomfortable. Showing up even when no one is watching. This is what creates inner certainty. And once you have that, you don't need status to feel important. You don't need dominance to feel strong. You don't need validation to feel worthy. You become steady. And a steady man is dangerous in the best way, because he cannot be shaken easily. When you respect yourself, the world starts reflecting it back. Chapter 6. Building Identity Through Small Wins. Most men wait to feel confident before they act. But it works the other way around. Confidence is not a starting point. It's a result. Right now, you might feel unsure. You compare yourself to others. You think you're behind. That's because you're measuring your life against someone else's timelines instead of your own direction. So, let's simplify it. You don't need to know your entire purpose. You just need a direction. And then, prove to yourself daily that you can move toward it. Small wins. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Speak honestly in moments where you'd usually stay quiet. These are not small. They stack. And every time you follow through, your brain updates your identity. I am someone who does what he says. That's how belief is built. Not through thinking, but through evidence. Stop comparing. Remove the pressure to be perfect. Focus on becoming 1% more aligned each day. When you see your own progress clearly, insecurity fades because you finally trust yourself. Chapter 7. Reactivation, the path forward. Right now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually live this? Start simple. Not with big goals, not with external wins, but with internal discipline. Keep small promises to yourself. Control your reactions. Choose honesty over image. This is the ancient path. Not flashy, not fast, but real. And here's the rehook. In a world where most men are lost, the man who is grounded stands out immediately. You came here thinking this might be about success without a Lamborghini. But now you see it's deeper than that. You don't need status to feel important. You don't need dominance to feel strong. You don't need validation to know your worth. What you need is yourself. A man who is calm, reliable, honest, unshaken. That's the modern warrior, not loud, not aggressive, but grounded in who he is. So here's your next step. Stop chasing the image of a man and start becoming one. If this shifted something in you, stay on this path. Because the world doesn't need louder men. It needs stronger ones.